The opening of the American West. The land promised opportunities to the hardworking, profit for the wealthy, and easy fortunes for a new brand of outlaw. Jesse James, Butch Cassidy, and the Sundance Kid. The great American train robbers. They were thieves and killers who terrorized the West and dominated headlines. In the 1920s, three brothers from Oregon would make their mark on the train robbery era. At the age of 19, Ray DeAutremont was arrested for his involvement in the radical labor union known as the Wobblies. His twin brother, Roy, came to visit Ray in prison. Soon, the two would share their outrage, and they resolved to commit a real crime as soon as Ray got out. They recruited their youngest brother, Hugh, and began planning their revenge on society. By September of 1923, the three young men had decided on their target, Southern Pacific Railroad's number 13, also known as the Gold Special. High in the Siskiyou Mountains, just south of Ashland, Oregon, the brothers set up camp. The train regularly passed through a half-mile tunnel on the mountain summit, a perfect location for a train robbery. The DeAutremonts stayed in a cabin near the tunnel for 1 month while they planned their crime. On October 11th, the Gold Special crawled along the tracks as it crested the mountaintop. Hugh and Roy jumped aboard and forced the engineer to stop the train. On the other side of the tunnel, Ray grabbed the dynamite to blast open the mail car. Thick black smoke filled the air. Ray had set off too much dynamite, and now fire tore through the entire mail car, instantly killing a mailman, Elvin Doherty. The chaos caused the DeAutremonts to panic.
They wasted everybody. He said it's terrible when you kill somebody. It messes your whole head up, and you start to thinking things that you never thought before in your life. You don't care if you kill anybody else.
Coyle E. Johnson, the brakeman for the train, was shot by both Hugh and Roy as he emerged from the black tunnel. Hugh shot Sidney Bates, the engineer, and Ray shot Marvin Singh, the train's fireman. In the blinding smoke and the blistering flames, any possibility of stealing gold vanished. The gang fled the scene, empty-handed and scared to death. Deputies arrived at the wreckage. The manhunt began immediately. Special Agent Dan Cooper was in charge of the investigation. He ordered a plane to search the mountains, and soon the pilots spotted the DeAutremonts' cabin. In it, the three had left behind an abundance of evidence. The most important item, a pair of greasy denim overalls. Agent Cooper handed the case over to Professor Edward Heinrich from the University of California, one of the first scientists in the country to apply forensic science to criminal investigation. Heinrich made a crucial discovery in the pocket of the overalls, a receipt signed by Ray DeAutremont. The manhunt went national. More than 2 million reward posters in 6 languages blanketed the country. Meanwhile, in order to survive, the brothers split up. Hugh hitchhiked to Chicago, where he joined the Army. The twins, Ray and Roy, stayed together, constantly on the move. They were at large for 4 years. Then, a wanted poster tipped off Hugh's commanding officer in the Army. Authorities sent Hugh back to Oregon to stand trial. A huge crowd of reporters, photographers, and curious citizens waited at the Jacksonville train station to see the accused killer. 1 month later, in Ohio, Ray and Roy also were recognized and captured. The police immediately returned the twins to Oregon. Hugh's trial was underway, but the arrogant DeAutremont brothers believed they would not be convicted.
They thought they could beat it. really, in their subconscious, they thought they could beat the deal and get out.
However, the evidence was overwhelming. The jury found Hugh guilty. Ray and Roy immediately plea bargained for life sentences rather than face the death penalty. All three brothers were sent to Salem State Prison. Roy never was able to accept his criminal past. He was diagnosed as a schizophrenic and received a frontal lobotomy. He spent his remaining years in the Oregon State Hospital, where he died in 1983, 60 years after his botched crime as a youth. Hugh was released from prison for good behavior in 1958, but died 3 months later of cancer. Ray was paroled at the age of 61. He found meaning in his life through religion, painting, and honest work. In 1973, his sentence was commuted by Governor Tom McCall. Today, all three brothers share a headstone at Bellcrest Memorial Park in Salem.
They thought they could do it by themselves and then never commit a crime again, which they bungled us so bad that it's impossible for them to get out any which way or shape. Free, they couldn't.
Bungled or not, the DeAutremont's crime would influence history. Men were hired specifically to protect the railway system. Trains were built stronger, with steel replacing wood structures. The DeAutremont's failed attempt to steal riches proved to be the beginning of the end of the train robbery era.